Why, hello there. Welcome to episode 1 of Nick Reed's Random Internet Essays. Internet essays are a favorite genre of mine, as they're a never-ending source of funny shit and just nonsensicality, really. So I decided to start this series with an oldie, a goodie, my favorite one probably of all time, the only one and true banger of the genre, and that is, of course, Planes, Trains, and Plantains, the Story of Oedipus. This font is smaller than the last. Now, this was written on November 30th, 2004, by definitely not me, because that would be when I was 4. So, let's dive right in. Planes, Trains, and Plantains. The name is blocked out. A man can only justify his actions if he regards his demeanor with deductive thinking. This man was not Oedipus, mainly because he was a fucking douchebag. One must know who Oedipus was to understand the period in which it was written. This is my thesis statement. The Greeks contributed to many things to our culture, such as olives, gyros, Lenny Kravitz, anal sex, and Oedipus. Oedipus will be remembered throughout time because he suffered from Lou Gehrig's disease, and that's why he couldn't play baseball in the first Olympic Games. He will always be remembered for his journeys and his love for the New York Yankees. Laius and Jocasta were king and queen of Thebes, a town in Greece. They were fucking around, and Laius forgot to strap his shit. One day they had a baby boy. An oracle prophesied that this boy would grow up, kill his father, and marry his mother. Laius was like, fuck that shit, that's gay. To thwart the prophecy, Laius and Jocasta decided to kill their baby. They fingered his butthole and sent him on his way. In those days, it was usual to leave an unwanted or defective baby in the wilderness. Laius and Jocasta did this. To be extra sure, they pierced his little feet and tied them together. Don't worry about this detail, which makes no sense. It must have been introduced to explain the baby's name. A kindly shepherd found the baby in a pool skimmer. He gave the baby to a friend, who took it to Corinth, another town. Corinth reappears in the New Testament, under the category of DVDA verses 63. The king and queen of Corinth couldn't have a baby of their own. The king had a bad case of the limp dick, so they adopted the foundling. Nobody ever told little Oedipus that his mother was never pregnant. She boarded the kid into a toilet in the back of a Denver Denny's one day. After he had grown up, a drunk mentioned his being adopted. Oedipus killed the bum. Oedipus also questioned his parents, but they denied it. Oedipus visited various oracles to find out whether he was really adopted. All the oracles told him instead was that he would kill his father and marry his mother. He told them that they were dissing him, so he grabbed his 12-sided dildo and left town. None of this makes much sense. Again, don't worry about it. This is a folktale, not a goddamn OxyClean commercial. To thwart the oracles, Oedipus left Corinth permanently. He then sought out Billy Mays and had gay sex with him. At the time, this was considered polite. Again, don't worry. Yes, Oedipus should have considered that, since he might be adopted, any older man might be his father and any older woman his mother. But this is a folktale. Traveling the roads, Oedipus got into a traffic squabble and killed the stranger, who, unknown to him, was King Laius. Oedipus snorted 2 lines of pure coke off of his dead dad. In one version, there is a dispute over right-of-way on a bridge, but in those days, high rank got to go first. Oedipus identified himself as heir to the throne of Corinth, and for some reason, again, don't worry about it. This is page 3. It's just an empty page with this is page 3 on it. Laius' people simply attacked instead of explaining he was the king of the Thebes. They were dumb Greek dudes. What did you expect? An atomic bomb? Some versions say that the rude Laius drove over Oedipus' sore foot, making him lose his temper. This is bullshit. Don't believe it, or I will fucking kill you, and yes, this is a written threat. And that's what Oedipus told his father. One should analyze the poetry on page 43, when Oedipus is rolling in his benzo, and he has to bust a cap on some flagrants in the Undercity. Rollin' in the benzo, poppin' my collar. See some fine wenches, I have to holla. Diamonds, gold, and the almighty dollar. I'm Oedipus, bitch, the original balla. I bust out my 9 to light up yo Impala. Fuck that police. Dr. Dre got most of his inspiration from the Greek story of Oedipus. Soon, Oedipus' smarts saved the town of Thebes, and he was made king. In fact, the only reason Dr. Dre produced the Chronic was because the Bible tells you to smoke lots of pot, and Oedipus used to blaze with the makers of Aquafresh toothpaste. Oedipus married Laius' widow, Queen Jocasta, so basically, he was fucking his own mom, which is fucking nasty. He rolled well, and they had 4 children. Eventually, Oedipus and Jocasta found out what had really happened. Imagine you're like jamming your mom, and you have like 4 kids, and the feds come to your house and say that she was your mom, and you were like, yeah, so? And they were like, well, that's gross, dog, and illegal. You must assume that accidentally killing your father and marrying your mother is a disaster. Jocasta committed suicide with a pimento, and Oedipus blinded himself and became a wandering beggar because the Beatles did it, and that was cool. In the version which must have been the favorite of Sophocles' Athenian audience, Oedipus found sanctuary at Colonus, outside of Athens. The kindness that he was shown at the end, made the city itself blessed, which is the gayest ending ever. The Greeks invented anal lube. This is my conclusion. The end. We're excited. www.yahoo.com, www.google.com, www.tubgirl.com. And then there's the only real notation I'm going to make of the grading that the teacher put on this, but this fine gentleman got a 61% or a D-. Mr. Freeman, please see me after class to discuss your paper. Well, rip and pepperonis, Mr. Freeman. This was Plans, Trains, and Plantains, The Story of Oedipus. This text is smaller than the last. My favorite random shitpost online internet essay. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a good day.